Hey, hope everyone is doing well today. In my last video, I wanted to touch on meditations and the importance of them, and what they mean to me. I really started meditating about 11 years ago when all this journey started, and as I have went through life through these past 11 years, I've some days that I do well with it, some days I forget, maybe even weeks. But I've noticed that the more often that I meditate, the better my days are, right? Eventually, I would like to have some, guided meditations of things, the way that I do them, personally. But right now, I would like to touch on something that happened to me last night that I'm really excited about. Through my times of trying to meditate or meditating, I've tried to have out-of-body experiences. I've had different techniques, and I was successful last night. Wasn't very long, wasn't anything crazy out there. It was just actually a short moment in time, but I actually left my body for a minute or 2 seconds. I have no clue what the time frame was. But I want to back up a little bit and talk about lucid dreaming. I've lucid dreamed in my adult life several times, maybe 5 or 6 times, and I would say about 2 or 3 months ago, I had a lucid dream to the point that I was completely conscious, like I am now. And I've had lucid dreams where I become aware that I'm dreaming. This one particular night, 5 or 6 times I would wake up and go right back into the dream. I was thinking just like I think now, just completely conscious, all right? And that was, I would say, my first out-of-body experience that I realized. But last night was a little bit different. I was awake at the time that my body, that I left my body. So I don't know if you've ever heard of binaural beats or hemisync. I downloaded this thing from Robert Monroe of Monroe Institute. He has his own guided out-of-body experience meditations and things. It's about 20 different parts or so, broke up in like 5 different sections. And on the first part where he was doing the out-of-body part, I went through it several times and I didn't really feel like I was getting it. It was like it's not rushed, but for me it takes a little bit more time to get into that frame of mind. So last night, as I went through the same particular one, I waited to the end, and instead of just getting up when the sound went off, I just continued to lay there. And I could feel like I was at that moment, at that point in time that it was going to happen. I felt like that a bunch of times, but something happens and I come back. I don't actually leave. But last night I did. Trying to describe it, trying to put it into words, and it's difficult. It's almost put it into words of a sound or a feeling. It was an intense feeling. I felt the exact moment that I left. I felt like I was going up really, really fast. And it was actually at the point that I stopped thinking. It was like I just started to be. It's hard to explain. I really wish I could do a better job at it. But as I was going, I came across this creature. He looked kind of menacing at first. I remember from Tom Campbell's teaching, you encounter these things, you must not show fear. Just smile, ask it how it's doing, whatever. So I did. It's like, how are you? I smiled, and it smiled back at me. It was pretty cool, kind of a goofy little smile. This menacing creature all of a sudden just went from frowning to just a weird smile. I thought it was cool. And just a few seconds later, I think I came back, and what it was is you can't think in physical terms. You can't feel in physical terms. But as soon as you start trying to think with this brain, it's like it brought me back. Oh man, it's hard for me to explain. It's like as you're in that moment, as you leave your body, you can't operate in the physical at all. And that's something I'm going to have to learn how to do, right? But it was really awesome. At the same time that I encountered that creature, funeral home looking, there's cars in the background, ADD, squirrel. Anyway, so as I'm encountering this creature, whatever, at the same time I hear someone say, he finally got it. He basically finally went out of body. And I was like, man, this is so exciting. I woke up, or got up. I wasn't asleep. Came back to my body. I felt it the moment I left, the moment I came back. Got up, and I had a few things to do. I would have tried again, but I had a few chores to take care of. But definitely going to try it again and give as much information as I can as I experience these things. How does this relate to the things that I've learned? That's what I really want to touch on. I've noticed throughout my entire life, or since my adult life, as I've been learning these things, of what it means, of like the Taoism, or just letting things be, letting things occur as they are. I'm making an analogy back to where I used to play Gears of War. Was a huge Gears of War fan. Still probably would be. I just don't know if I have that balance in my life anymore, right? So just taking a break from it for a while. I haven't played since about last January. But I noticed when I used to play that game, the harder that I tried, the more difficult it was for me to do anything. My kill death ratio would be like I would have 2 kills versus 10 deaths, and it would just like, it would suck, and I'd be so aggravated. The more angry I got, the harder it got. And then I noticed those times that I did really well, I wasn't really trying to do good. I just forgot that I was playing the game when I was just in the moment. And as I was in the moment, I started doing really good. And it's the same thing across the board. Being on Reddit, make this big thought out comment, think it's going to be so good, and don't have much of a response. And then I'll just make this off top of my head comment, and just all of a sudden I'll have hundreds of upvotes out of nowhere. I was like, wow. And I just started putting pieces together. And everything that we do, in life, when we try to really struggling, we're pushing against the grain, man. It's like we just fighting it, just trying to get it done, whether it's a relationship, going to school, whatever it is. And you're just like, man, what in the world is going on? I'm trying so hard and nothing's happening. It's like I'm just going backwards. And it's just like when I had the out-of-body experience, just like when I described the cloud bursting, it's all the same. You just have to have that frame of mind that it's okay. Just let things be as they are. Don't force it. And I used to think, man, I have to force it. It's never going to happen. It's going to take so long if I don't do this. But it's not true. That's a trap. The harder you're pushing against something, man, the harder it becomes. Just let things be. Same thing with out-of-body experiences. Same things as anything in life. Just let it be. Let it happen in its own time, and I guarantee you it will go quicker than it would be if you started getting aggravated and you started pushing and you started struggling with it. I'm trying to think of another good analogy. Okay, like quicksand, for instance. Okay, say you're going and you step into quicksand. Okay, all of a sudden you just start struggling, man. You start trying to get out, and you find yourself sinking faster and faster. Where if you were to stay calm, cool, and collective, you might have had time for somebody to come by and help you. But in the meantime, you're fighting so hard, you just start sinking faster and faster. I could spin this a million different ways, but I guess 101 for me is to understand that there's one consciousness. We're all created. I mean, we're all part of the same thing. We're all one. It's not that we're a part of it. We're the same thing. And then stemming from that, realizing that we create everything. We create our world. And then learning how to operate inside of this creation that we have. It's been a really cool experience. Anyway, guys, much love to you. Hope you have a great week. Don't look at this Monday as the terrible Mondays. This is another day that we're alive, another day we can take a breath of air. Thank you all for your subscriptions. I had a few new ones lately. I really appreciate it a lot. I'm glad that you're on this journey with me as we go through this together. Much love to all of you. Peace.